We're at kilometer 4. Houston, we've got a problem. This is serious. I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but sometimes when our problems are bigger and we have no choice where to go, as is the case right now, because we're in the middle of nowhere. And it turns out that people are still abandoning cars on the road here in Sinaloa. I don't know who abandons a Volkswagen Virtus on a Sinaloa motorway, but that's not the problem, nor is the car that they are abandoning is new. The real problem, fellas, is that they leave it with the cameras and the keys. And so, we are going to drive it. Okay, let's talk about Virtus. It's not a perfect car, but none of them are, and there are a number of things I don't like about it. And if it were any other car, I would give you a list of all the things I don't like. But since this is a Virtus, the first thing I'm going to do is set sport mode, downshift, accelerate, and go for it. Third gear. Reaches up to the red line, 6,500 reps per minute. I'm going over 100 kilometers per hour, about to take the corner. And what I love about the sports mode is that the transmission stays there, revving up. We get to third gear and it keeps pushing hard. 140 kilometers per hour, 150, 160 or more. I have already tested Virtus on the road. See the videos on the channel. It drives and has the demeanor of a car of a much more higher segment and allows you to take corners faster and with more confidence than any other car of the same price. And that, fellas, is what I love. If you want to know what the top speed of Volkswagen Virtus is, by the way, the brakes were very good. 4-wheel disc brakes, traction control, stability control, EBD, all that stuff. I invite you to watch the video we have of it in the channel. The transmission has manual-like gears. I'm in 6th gear, down to 5th. Let's see if I can downshift to 4th gear. Yes, I can. 3rd? Yes, I can. It goes all the way to the red line. It enters and makes the change of its own, of course. This allows you to overtake better than in any other vehicles in this segment. It really is a great car, cornering without any difficulties. The steering is electro-assisted, electromechanical as Volkswagen calls it. 181. 182. Yes, it's governed up to 182 kilometers per hour, just as the official information says. How nice is it to be able to discover it? I had to do that, fellas, because it's been a long day and it's nice to have a car with good stability, a lot of control and a super bumpy road like this one, but which is driven with the demeanor of a more expensive car. Sadly, it isn't perfect. There are things I would like to be different, and there is the question. Gonzalo, why buy a Virtus and not an equipped Versa? Or a basic Sentra, Kia Forte, Hyundai Elantra, Chevrolet Onix equipped, top of the range, Chevrolet Cavalier, which is also very good, to be honest, and improved a lot with the new turbo engine. Anyway, let me get out of my chest the things that I don't like. First, it has too few USB ports. I only found this one here and I haven't found any others. Next is the screen. I know Virtus 2022 will have a larger 10-inch screen. That's an Apple CarPlay. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. There are controls for the car radio, media, telephone. I am fascinated by the shortcuts being a giant bottom and that there is a knob for volume and radio station. Another thing that is worth mentioning, and I'm going to park for this, and check this out. There are reverse sensors, but there is no reversing camera. I will see if the sensors detect the plants. Yes, there they are. Yes, they are convenient to have. Thank you, Volkswagen. But in a car just over 300,000 pesos, which is what the new Virtus is going to cost, we want a review camera. Now, what's going to happen next year? 2022 is a decisive year where Volkswagen is repositioned strongly in the market or falls down from it. Why does this happen? Because there is too much competition. And what's going to happen in our country is that it seems that at the end of the middle of the next year, Volkswagen Vento or Polo, or however you call it in your country, will no longer be sold. The Virtus that we're driving today, with this smaller display and how it's equipped, It looks to be set for the brand's entry-level vehicle. That's right, you heard me. The smallest and most affordable Volkswagen you are going to be able to buy in the future is going to be Virtus, unless they bring back the Volkswagen Up or something like that. However, it will be basic Virtus. It will not be austere. It never has been. In general, the design is perceived as sober, elegant, but minimalistic and modern. It doesn't feel like a boring old design. For some, not for all. On the other hand, if this is your first Volkswagen, it's going to be worth it, and surely if this is what your heart wants, you are going to enjoy it a lot. It is a reliable car that you will be able to use for about 200k, 300k or 500k kilometers of life if you service it in time. That's the truth. What are the problems? The problems have to do with equipment and functionality issues in the basic Virtus, because for next year it will apparently already be equipped with a turbocharged engine. All this information is unofficial. I cannot confirm any of it yet. So the new Virtus with a turbocharged engine, 10 inches display and whatever not will be very cool. Yes, but it's going to be more expensive, and the more expensive it gets, the less accessible it is for most people. But even so, this Virtus we have today is pretty cool. It's very comfortable, the seats are very firm, fabric upholstery. In Sinaloa, we really appreciate that because leather is very hot and it burns your bum. I would love to see electric AC from the basic versions. I would like to see a 12 or 14 inches digital cluster, but the price would increase. I would love to see the AC vents higher up. It's comfortable where they are, but for the second row of seats, not so much. Maybe I would like to see a couple of more airbags, because even though it has 4 and a 5-star crash and impact test rating by Latin NCAP, the reality is that 6 airbags would be better, but 8 or 10 would be excellent. Those are the kind of details I would like to see different. There are electric windows and mirrors, and the windows operate with a single touch to go up and down. I think that's very cool. There are fog lights, cruise control on the left side of the steering wheel, and on the right side are the voice commands, trip computer and controls for audio, volume, etc. Overall, it is a comfortable and very well equipped car, but you're probably wondering why it's worth one of these and not Kia Forte. Again, if you like Volkswagen design, that's why it's convenient. If you want a car that holds its resale value better, it is also a good choice. But above all, in my humble opinion, what's valuable about Volkswagen cars: downshift, sport mode, full throttle. I want to shift, third gear, and we keep accelerating. What is really worthwhile about the brand is the excellent driving performance for their price. If you want a car with an excellent driving experience at an affordable price, because there are no cheap cars in the Mexican market anymore, if you want the elegance and the poise and the distinction of Volkswagen, Virtus is for you. We have to remember that it's bigger than Vento, it has more space and a bigger boot. Is it suitable for Uber and such platforms? If you have the money to buy one, yes. It is very reliable car, which with you will be able to transport people very comfortably. Overall, although it's a compact car, it has more space than most compact cars in this price range. I love the sport mode, full throttle, but it's the driving that makes it really worthwhile for me. Which brings me to the fuel efficiency. It is superior for what most people think. And if you want to know how many kilometers per liter it gives you, let's see the results of the Virtus versus 1 liter of petrol test. It's about to stop now. Come on, you can do it. 17.9 kilometers per liter. So, good fuel efficiency, very good high-speed performance, great driving, lots and lots of comfort and elegance. What is it missing? The thing I mentioned before, but still it does a very good job. The truth is that if you ask me, the car is not a bad car at all. Would I buy one? That is an excellent question. No, I wouldn't buy one. Why, Gonzalo? If you are recommending it, why wouldn't you buy it? Because I like four-wheel drive SUVs more, because of my lifestyle. If you don't follow the channel channel that much, those are the cars that I would love to have in my life. A vehicle that I can drive in the mountains, in the dunes, on the beach. However, if I had the need to buy a compact saloon for the family and my financial situation was not so limited, I would definitely buy Virtus instead of Vento because it is much more of a car. Plus, the transmission is more fun to drive. It's also exciting, especially when compared to the CVTs you can find. There is nothing wrong with them because they are designed to save money, but this one has a sport mode and manual shifting. You can accelerate and feel the kick, and it's very exciting. And who doesn't like to feel excitement? I know I do. Very good cornering stability, good dynamic performance for its price. It is excellent. Third, second, we keep accelerating uphill, and it's cool to be able to do this on this gearbox because it allows us more power on the slopes, more control of the vehicle. These are real shifts, not simulated. Fifth gear and sixth if you want to save fuel. And that's it. It's 6 speeds with manual type gearbox and an excellent driving. The road is a bit noisy because it is in bad conditions. Oh, I love driving this bastard. I can't wait to drive the new Virtus Turbo. I hope a GTI version will follow. I would love it if Volkswagen Mexico would lend us one to do the Diablo Run Ridge from Cabo to Tijuana and then to Cancun in a single trip. If someone from Volkswagen Mexico is looking at this, please consider it. Now it's time for questions and answers. We launched a survey on the channel and it's time to answer your questions. Brian Lopez: how is the frame and suspension, specifically rear suspension? Greetings from Chile. I generally don't like to talk about the assembly of cars because unless you don't disassemble it, well, I don't like it. Those people who just touch the board and say, oh, the assembly feels whatever, good and steady, good quality, so silly. As for the suspension, fine. In general, I really like the shock absorbers that Volkswagen chooses for their cars because they are soft in the city but firm on the motorway. Driving at 170 km per hour or more in a Ford or Sentra, which have slightly softer suspension, would not feel as firm. However, I have to admit that it does require good technique to get over potholes or bumps because otherwise it sounds. A lot of people complain that Volkswagen suspension hits. You can hear a very clear thump or clack or in the front suspension, but that is usually due to poor technique. You have to hit the brakes, reduce the speed and release the brake just before the bump or the pothole. You will feel the car's weight was leaning towards the front, and when the brake is released, the weight is distributed a little to the rear. This compresses the shock absorbers and it allows it to work as it should. This way it won't hit anything. The rear suspension has no problems at all. Very good. Greetings to Chile. William Guzman: would it be a good option to trade in a Golf saloon? Yes, it would be a very good option. How does it behave when cornering on the motorway? It's good due to the suspension and because its body is bigger and more rigid and stable than Vento. Is the track gauge good? Yes, for its size and price. Jonathan Trujillo Gomez: hello Gonzalo. Hello mate. I would like to know how long it takes from its 0 to its top speed and what other vehicles it competes against and why buy it. You have seen the full throttle test. What other vehicles does it compete against? Since this one is between the small compact saloon and the slightly larger compact saloon, all compact saloons in the end, this one is between Nissan Versa and Nissan Sentra, Kia Rio and Kia Forte, Chevrolet Onix and Cavalier, Vento and Jetta. It's competing against all the cars in the same price range rather than in the same segment because it's right in the middle. And why buy it? Because you want a very good high-speed driving for this price range, because you love the design and the quality of the brand, and because it has a good resale value, better than other brands. Motor Rider: greetings from San Luis Potosí. Hello mate. What is real performance? You saw it in the performance test. What's the best buying option? Golf 1.4 TSA 2018 or Virtus 2022? If you wait for 2022 Virtus, there will be a turbo engine version, and if you have the money money for that one, I would go for that one, because the newer and more powerful the engine and the bigger the car, the more fun it is. However, both turbo cars are up to the task. The advantage is that you will have a brand new car versus a 4 or 5-year-old car. William Guzman: I have a Gold Saloon LPG. Do you think a Virtus LPG is advisable? I think Virtus engine, which I haven't been asked about, by the way, it is a 1.6 litre naturally aspire engine with port injection, as Volkswagen calls it. You can convert it to LPG. If you are in Mazatlan, you can ask the dealer where that can be done, and they can advise you. Obviously, you can lose your warranty. Just talk to the agency. Wink, wink. If you are in Mazatlan, just ask. I know what I'm telling you. But that's all I can say about that. Soy el Os. Does it perform better than Onyx? Good question. I don't know. Onyx is a bit smaller and lighter, and the engine is quite smaller, with good power and therefore more efficient. I think both are on the same level with good driving habits, but Onyx may be more fuel efficient. Matthew Colfer: best choice for mixed use, city and motorway, Ibiza or Virtus? What a good question. I would like Virtus more because it's a bit bigger and it will be more comfortable to drive, especially for many hours on the road. Although I really like the design of Ibiza and that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, they are relatives, mate. Hector González Gomez: how does it stand out compared to its competitors? Design, high-speed driving and safety. Cesar Coronel: was such a model necessary in Mexico? Yes, because it was a market segment that was not being covered by any other brand, and now it's more competitive. How much power does it have? 110 horsepower, 114 pound-foot of torque, 6-speed automatic transmission, regular drive mode, sport mode and manual mode for better driving on uphill. Thank you very much to all the people who participated in the survey, and remember that each week we will choose one subscriber who will participate in the survey to bring to Mazatlan. We're going to pay for their flights, 5-star hotel and everything to compete and win a luxury car, brand new and up to 1 million pesos in prizes. Wow, how cool would that be, fellas? But it's not true. It's absolutely fake. We are not going to do it, and not for lack of enthusiasm, but for lack of money, because we are not as millionaires as people think. It is sad. Let's hope that in the future we will be able to do it. I'm sorry for playing with your feelings, but I wanted to do that for so long now. Anyway, let's watch the speed test. Ready? Turn off the AC, sport mode on, and let it do the changes by itself. 3, 2, 1, accelerating. Traction control is engaged to stop the spin. Okay, it's shifting faster. 102 kilometers per hour, 120. Brakes work really good. Suspension as well. For all the people who hate it and criticize it, they are very wrong. It is far, far from being a bad car. On the contrary, but there are people who, out of prejudice, will never own a Volkswagen in their life, and we respect that too. If you're not one of these biased and negative people, then it's worth a visit to your nearest Volkswagen dealer and try it out. In Mazatlan, you can go to Popul Auto. They are my friends and they will treat you very good. Tell them that you saw this video and they will give you a very good service. If you're wondering about the price, in its 2022 version, which is not this one is 2021. It starts from 324,990 Mexican pesos, which are approximately 15,729 US dollars at today's exchange rate. Prices are subject to change without prior notice. Please consult your nearest dealer. This 2021 version, you can maybe buy it before of the end of the year for a little less than that, but it's worth going to your nearest Volkswagen dealer to see if they still have it in stock. I like it. I do. Full throttle, very good brakes. Oh, so good. See you next video.